Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have another Fog of War. This one is called A Bit of Fog Fun by ebiggie. So let's just jump into the rules on this thing. So we've got normal Sudoku rules. So every row, column, and 3x3 box will contain the digits 1 through 9 once each. We've got German whispers, which are the green lines. So adjacent digits along a green German whisper line must differ by at least 5. Digits may repeat if other rules allow. So we have a couple of them showing, and the green lines are thin lines, so that might help people who have some color blindness. But there might be other. No, it doesn't look like there's any other lines. Yeah, okay, so good. So the thin green lines are German whispers, so you should be able to pick those out then. And then the thick gray lines are gonna be 10 lines. So anyway, on a German whisper, digits have to be different by 5. So whatever this has to be 5 higher or 5 lower. And then we have 10 lines, which are the thick gray lines. So each 10 line consists of one or more contiguous groups of cells, each of which sums to 10. These groups of cells cannot overlap. Every cell is part of exactly one group. Digits may repeat freely on lines and even within sums. So essentially it just means that this grouping of this line must have values of 10. And if allowed, I won't go into specifics here because that's solve side, but if allowed, you could break this up into different versions, but you couldn't have these two add to 10 and then these two add to 10 because that would be overlapping and that's not allowed. And if allowed by rules, you can repeat digits. Then we have Kropkis. So black dots are on a 1:2 ratio, white dots are consecutive. Not all dots are given. So these two here are consecutive because of the white dot. These two here are on a 2:1 ratio. Or 1:2 ratio, or one of them is double the other. And then we have fog. So the grid is partially covered with fog. Correctly placed digits will remove fog from surrounding cells to reveal more clues. No guessing is required. I'm guessing this is standard fog because it doesn't stipulate otherwise. So if we were to figure out what this digit is, all of this fog would clear and then we'd have some more clues to work with. So those are the rules. There's also, yeah, exactly. So for colorblind friend, German whispers are thin, 10 lines are thick. So good. I like making that determination of thin and thick instead of just going with thick. And I guess you kind of had to do that because of the overlap here, but I think it works better in puzzles to do it that way so it's more accessible to everybody. So people don't have to be looking back at saying, okay, R1, row 7 is German whisper and then having to figure that all out. So thick and thin, I would recommend setters if you're doing puzzles, do a little thicker thin, even or try to make it work if you can. I just think it's better for accessibility. So anyway, enough stumping there. Link's going to be in the description below. Let's give this thing a try, see if we can figure it out. So what we're going to have to think of is where are we going to put a digit in this thing. Now, the first thing I thought about was the 5s, because obviously you can't put a 5 on German whispers or black Kropkis, but there's still multiple positions you could put a 5. We can say that this gray 10 line must use all 3 digits to add to 10 because we can't divide it up in any way. You can't have 2 digits add to 10 and then 1 digit being a 10. It doesn't work. So these will add to 10 in some way. Now we're going to know that these are 1 high and 1 low because they're on a German whisper. So the bare minimum they could ever be would be a 1, 6, which is 7. So this is going to have to be a low digit from 1, 2, or 3. Okay. What else can we say? I guess we can say, I don't know if this is very helpful, but this can't be a 1, 2 pair because we're forcing a 3 here. And then you'd have to have a 1, 6 to be able to make the 10, but we can't. Again, I don't know if that's useful in any way at the moment. Now, I guess we can also start thinking about highs and lows in general, because we have 2 highs in these 4 cells. We have 3 lows. So we have 1 more low in all of these. And we're going to have the 5. Now, this not being a 5 does help us out here. We're going to have a 5 and 2 highs and 1 low in this setup. None of those can be, so one of these 2 is the 5. So, let's think about what issues we have dependent on how we think about what some of these clues could have as their options. I guess we can say there's a max we can ever put on this thing, right? Obviously, we can't have a 1-9. So the low digit is going to be a 1 or a 2. Because we can't put a 3, because if we do, it would have to go with an 8 on the German Whisper. That obviously doesn't work. The 2, yeah, the 2 would work because we could do a 2-7. And this would be a 1. So it's either 1 or 2, and it has to go with a 6 or a 7. Yeah, because we can't put an 8 on here, because it would be, we'd have to do an 8-1 to get to 9, but then we can't put another 1, obviously. So, okay. So what does this tell us about this, or anything else? We know we have 2 from the 1, 2, and 3. One of these guys has to be a 3 or a... well, no, it's not true. Well, are we guaranteeing a 1 must go on here? I think we are, right? Because if we put a 1 here, or we put a 6 here, say, it has to go with the 1. Wait, this can't be a 3. Why did I say this could be a 3? I don't know, because a 6-1 would be 7. Oh no, because, yeah, duh. 10. Brain, please start working at some point today. It would be very helpful. Going back to that, are we forced to put a 1 on here? Is it ever possible to not have a 1? No, the answer is no, because if you don't put a 1 on here, you've got a 2-7 as a bare minimum, then you're forced to put the 1 here. So we always have a 1. All that really says is the low digit on here has to be from 2, 3, or 4, and it could still be a 4 if this was the 4. Okay. Maybe we really do need to think about these guys a bit more. Maybe this guy, because he's on a 10 line. Let's think about what it could be. It obviously can't be a 4-8 pair. Yeah, there's no way that would work, because that would be 12. And you can't segregate one of the 2. This can't be a 1. We just proved one of these is. This can't be a 2. Wait, I didn't mean to remove the 4, I just meant to remove the 8. These could be a 6-3 and get a 1 somewhere out here. It could be 2-4. We figure out some way to get another, 4. Or it could be a 1-2. We figure out some way to get 7 in here. Okay. What about you? We don't know which one is the low or the high, so we don't necessarily know what these are. Let's look at them, though. This can't be a 1, of course. This can't be a 4 or a 3 because of the possibilities here. Anything else ruled out? The answer there would be no, so we can now reduce this guy at least. It can't be 6, and it can't be 8. This is 2, 3, or 4. this is 2, 3, 4, or 5. That is pushing 8s and 9s over here, which is interesting. And then whatever's left over. So it's either the 8 or the 9 on one of these positions. And the other digit is going to be a low digit, which forces this to just be what's left over from the 8 or 9. So this is not 5. This is. Okay, there we go. We just had to get there eventually. That 5 says 4. That then says this is either 2 or 8. This can't be 4. Okay. Now, what else does that say? Again, we don't quite know what the groupings are here yet. Maybe we can think about our options because we've got this cleared out. Now we can maybe think about what these could be. I'm going to mark this has to be an 8 or a 9. And these have to be from 2, 3, 8, 9. It's a lot of marking, but it works. One of these is a 7 now. Because we can't put 7. No, is that true? Yeah, because the 8 and the 9 must go over here. So one of these will be an 8 or 9. So the 7 can't go on the German Whisperer. And then this one is going to be what's left over from the 8 or 9. Okay, so one of these is a 7. So it does not have a 6 on it. Therefore, this is 6 and 3. Good. Now we're at 9, so this is 1. This is not 1. Good. This is not 3. So this is a 1, 2, 7 triple to get to 10. So this is not 2. So this is 3, 8, or 3, 9, and this has to be the 3 here. Get rid of you, get rid of these. And now we're getting somewhere. So now we got a bunch of clues we can start to work with. Or we can try to, I should say. I was thinking about what these could be, because we've got the German Whisper, so you know these two are going to be the same polarity, either high or low. I was going to try to rule out lows, but we can't do that. Yes, we can, actually. Let's think about that. If these are low digits, this would have to be a 2, this would have to be a 4. If that's a 4, this has to be a 9. This is 11 on a 10 line, which cannot be. Okay, so these are the high digits. This is a low digit, and it just has to be a 2. Now this can't be a 9, and it can't be a 6. This can't be a 6. Now, okay, these two have to add to 10. Because if we extended it to 3 digits, which would never work anyway, but if we were to do that, we would have left a singular. So this is an 8, and this is not. That 8 says 9, 8. Good. This has to be a low digit, 1 or 2, because it can't be 3, and you can't put a 4. This is 1, 2, or 4 for the black Kropki. This can't be a 2. Okay. Now these two have to add to 10, but we don't know what they are. We just know it's not 2 and 8, because obviously you can't put 2 or 8 here. But I guess this guy is kind of pushed down a little bit as to what it can be. I don't know if it's enough, though. We can't have 5, 5, though, so we know one of these is going to be a 5. Maybe we work with that. One of these will be a 5. Now, I can't rule out a 5 here, because this could be 3 digits, or 3 digits this way that add... Well, it couldn't be this way, because this would be a high and a low. You never put a 5 to go with them to add to 10, but this could be 3 digits, including a 5, with 2 lower digits. Would that work, though? Let's think about that a little closer, maybe. We don't know that this thing extends, but we know that if it didn't extend, this could never be a 5, because we'd have a 5 at the end and it could go, this line could go anywhere. It doesn't have to necessarily be there, but just some version of extension. I guess it could go down here too. Maybe we need to think about that. But no, because I think that will throw a spanner in the works there. Because I'm going to say, if it stops here, this can't be a 5, because this can't, because these two can't beat both low digits to add to 10, and you can't do a 5, 5. But if this line extends in any way, I was just thinking about what if it did this or stayed in this region, but we can't say that. I was going to say, though, if this was a 5 and it extended like this, I think it would break. Because the lowest we can put would be 1 and 3, which is 4, but that's not enough to get to 10. But then the thing is, it could go down here. This could be 1, 5, 3, and this could be another 1 to add to 10. So, okay. We're chasing that down. It didn't work. Let's think about this guy in general. Could be 1. Can't be 2. Could be 3. Can't be 4. Can't be 5. Could be 6. No, it can't be 6, because this would be a 1. Could be a 7. Can't be 8 or 9. I was hoping we'd get that down to something useful. If this was a 7, this would be a 2, because it can't be 1. And this could be 1 or 2. And then if we went low with this, these guys could be almost anything. I mean, obviously, if it's a 3, it's an 8 or 9, but I don't know that we can get into that one too much more. I would really like to get this German whisper determined in terms of its polarity, but let's think about this guy maybe, because we know it goes in, this has to be a high digit. So 6, 7, 8, or 9. Yeah, it didn't do anything. Because this could just be a 2-cell German whisper, and it could be a 6-1 or something. Okay. What else do we have? We do have this guy, which must also be similar to this. All 3 digits must be part of the 10. Let's say, is there anything? We know one of these is a 2. Let's use that. So is it possible there's no 1 on here? Because we wouldn't be able to use the 2 either. So it would be 3, 4, 5. That doesn't work. So we have to have a 1 on it. This can't be 1 and this can't be a 1. So this is. Therefore, this is 2. This is 4. Now we're moving and grooving. This is 9. Okay. These two have to add to 9. We can't do 8, 1, 7, 2, or 5, 4. So this is a 3, 6, which means this is 6 and 3. That 6 says this is either 5 or 7. What are these 3 digits left over now? We've got 5, 7, and 8. We do get a triple of 5, 7, 8 over here. Helpful? Don't know. I was going to say this could be different in terms of we could break it up, but if we ever broke it up again, we'd have a singular digit would be a 10, so that's not possible. So all 3 of these will be part of the math here. Therefore, this is never going to be an 8, because these would have to be a 1, 1. So one of these is 8. Could this ever be a 7? Yeah, because this could be a 1, 2 pair, this being the 1 and this being the 2. 1, 2, and that would work, yeah. Okay. And it could still also be a 5, because these could add to 5 in some way. Let's think about this German whisper. 1, 2, or 3. Then it goes back up to high. So we're looking at 6, 7, or 8. Alrighty. Again, still not enough break in this guy. What can you be? If this was a 2, this would be a 7 or a 9. If it was an 8, it would be a 2. No, that doesn't get us anywhere. What else can we say about some of this stuff? The 3 must go over here from Sudoku. We still can't rule that out because this could be 8. This could be 8 or 9. Okay. Don't think we have anything else on this guy yet. Okay. Where's the next step then? Is it something up in here? Could this ever be a 6? I think the answer is no. Now, we don't know what this line does, but if this was a 6, these 2 digits have to add up to 4 in some way, and that's impossible because of the 1, 2, 3 here. Yeah, because we couldn't take on 4 digits. So this can't be a 6. Now, if this is 7 or 8, again, this is going to have to be a singular, or 2 digits that add to 10. We're not going to be able to break it out, because again, 7, 1, 2, again, the 1, 2, 3 forces us to be a minimum of 4. So that'll never work. So these have to add to 10, so this can't be a 1. Now we don't know, again, what this does. I guess we can say these 2 have to add to 10, though. Because if they don't, we've got the same situation. Or do we? Let's think about that. No, we don't. This could be a 4 or 5. And there could be a 1 here. That would work. Or it could be some version of 10. Now, is that taken out of the possibility? Because we can't do 9, 1, we can't do 8, 2, we can't do 7, 3. But we could do a 6, 4. So it is still possible that these could be 2 digits that add up to 10 without having to cross over. Okay. Or there could be some other situation going on there. I don't think we have enough information to bag that just yet. So let's look elsewhere. What else do we have? I keep wanting to look back to here. This has to at least be a 5, but it can't be a 5. Because again, we can't do 5, 5. So it's either 6 or 7. Which means this has to either be 3 or 4. That did almost nothing. We know these are 3s and 5s in some way. Is there any other restrictions on some of these rows? Where does the 8 go? It has to go in one of these 3. Can never go here, because again, these have to 3 digits add up to 10. Maybe we do need to just kind of do a deep dive into what these can be. Because again, if this is a 7, these have to be a 1, 2 pair to get us to 10. The 1 would go here, the 2 would go here. If it's a 5, we have 2 digits that add to 5. It could either be, well, it can't be 2, 3. Okay, I think we're going to get a digit here. Because we have 3s looking in, and because we proved over here we have 3. So the only other option is a 4, 1. But 4, 1 doesn't work because 1 and 4 are looking at. This is just 1, 2. And this is 7. Okay, there we go. So this is a 5, 8, which means this is 7. That 1 says this is not a 1. Therefore, this is 1, 7, 2. That's going to put our 8 here and 2 here. Good, so the work we did previously is coming out. That 7 says this is 9. Good, 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 good. So now we know there is a turn here. Of what use that is, I'm not entirely sure. this can't be 7 anymore, because this can't be 1 or 2. Let's get rid of that stuff. That tells us this is the 8. Get rid of those. This has to be 8 or 9, and it can't be 8 anymore, so it's 9. These are over 10, so these two have to add to 10, so this is 1. Now, this 3 could have work done with it to get to 10 in multiple ways, or it could just be a 3, 7, and there could be some more digits down here. We don't quite know yet. So let's take a crack at Sudoku again. And then we'll start, well, maybe we'll look at this guy first. He has to at least be 7, he can't be in it, so it is 7. Still didn't quite get us too far, but let's take another look. Because we do have quite a few digits on some of this stuff. So we might be able to dig out a digit or 2 that's going to help us. Or not. We'll find out in a second here. I'm kind of curious about this German whisper up. This is a 2-3 pair. Sudoku does help us. What are these then? 7 and 9. This can't be 7. 9, 7. Good. That helped. Let's keep going. Let's see if we get more. Or one of these is a 4. Not great. What else? Not too much left on bunches of digits here. One of those is a 7. One of these is a 7. No, not too much, or not enough that I feel comfortable with going. One of these is an 8. Let's look at the 9s real quick. So there is a 9 on this thing. Question's going to, okay, so this can't be a 9. Because if it is, there has to be another high digit here. We've got 6, 7, and 8 already taken, so this is the 9. So a good thing I went through the bits of basic Sudoku before thinking about this guy, because I thought we might have something here, but we had to really use the information to get that. So 1, 2, 3, or 4. This can't be 1, 2, or 3, so it's 4. This is not. So these are a 1, 2, 3 triple here, and this can't be 2. We do have a 1, 2, 3 looking this way, and actually we have the 7. That's even better. That's 8. That forces this to be 8. What else? What are these 3? Because maybe we can now pare this guy down. These are 4, 5, and 6. This is not 4. This is 4, 5, or 6, and it can't be 4, so it's 5 or 6. Okay. Now, we knew this guy had to add to 10, so you're 2. That's not 2. You are 2. We also we know that these two had to add to 10. They can't be 5, 5, so there's 6, 4 with a 5. That pushes the 6. Now these are 1, 3, and 5. This can't be 3. This can't be 1. Okay, just some pencil marking to do there to get it out of the way for now, and then we can come back to it later, hopefully. What are these two digits now? 5 and 9. That seems correct. This could still be 5 or 9, because it looks like this does a V here. So if this was a 9, no, well, I guess, do I want to say that? Because we can't technically see this, but it does seem like there'd be no way that this thing could fork. Because then how would you determine what connects to what? So the point is, if this was a 9, this would have to be a 1. But then this would be left over. So this is going to have to be our 5 and 9. Yeah, there was no way that would have worked where it branched off. So if this is a 5, these have to add to 5. It can't be 2, 3, so it's 1, 4, and that's the 1 there, and the 4. Mouse, stop it. So that forces 3, and forces 7, forces 1, forces 3, Now I think we're really into just base Sudoku for the most part. There has to be an 8 and a 6 in this thing, so this becomes the 5 and the 8, which forces the 5. This is a given 4, which forces this 4. This is a given 6. What are these guys and these guys? This is 7 and 9, so 9, 7. These are 5, 6. We can put 5 and 6. Okay, good. Now we know what this does. So these are 9 now. This must be a 1. This is not 1 or 5, so it's 3, 5, 1. What are these guys? 2 and 8. Okay, we'll just have to get our digits in and something will break them up. So 5 and 6. Yep, there we go. So this is 6 and 5. That 6 says 8 and 6. Good, good, good. What are these two? 5 and 7. We can do that. And I guess we're just going to have to go through the options of these and see which one breaks out. Or we can look at these two first. We need a 4 and a 6. We can do that. 4, 6. Now we can look at these as doubles. One of these must be a 4, so it's got to be this one. The other one's going to be the 9. These guys need 3 and a 7, so we can do that. 3, 7. That's going to finalize. 2, 3, 8, 2. There we go. Wow, a big congrats on lifting all the fog. Great job. Okay, so this must have been created a little while ago. There's only 551 solves in 48 days, but this was posted about a week ago. So anyway, good puzzle. I haven't ever had a problem with ebiggie's puzzles. I always think they're quite fun. They usually are very friendly and they work well. So this is exactly the same as those. Really good puzzle. And of course, it's Fog of War, so I'm going to love it anyway. It would be interesting to make a Fog of War that I wouldn't like. Would probably take more effort than making one that I do like, but that's not eschewing anybody who makes Fog of Wars because they're all so incredible. Anyway, but I'm going to stop blabbing. Hope you enjoyed this puzzle. I certainly did. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.